Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right. Well, welcome into our special Mother's Day episode of the Fitness Fanatics. We are actually recording this on Saturday, so we are not live with you today, but we will be live next Sunday back at our, we'll be on, you're listening to us at our regular time, but we're recording it here in studio. So we have a special Mother's Day episode for you. We got our resident mother in here, Nicole. So it'll be a good day for her tomorrow. Of course, it's always Mother's Day at our house. I mean, she doesn't need a special day to be treated like she's important, right?
Sure.
So later in the show for hour 2, we have 2 super moms that'll be joining us. So we'll save their story for them, but they're 2 awesome ladies. Lindsay and Sarah will be in studio with us to talk about raising 11 children, working out, taking care of themselves. So that'll be really, really exciting. Yep. But I kind of wanted to kick off the show today because Nicole, last Sunday, we recorded our show also because you participated in the Lincoln Half Marathon. And it looks like you finished.
I did. I finished. I survived.
We're completers, not competers,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So how did that go for you?
It went fine. It went better than I thought. I don't normally, or I didn't really train for this one that much. And I say that it's like not that big of a deal for me to do a half marathon. I know it's a big deal for people, but like I don't always put a ton of pressure on myself for the race, and I need to go back and count, but I've probably done over 25 half marathons, like 2 a year minimum. Like, so it was just a matter of getting to the finish line. I actually finished a little better than I thought I would. I was super duper sore till about Thursday, but I deserved that. So yeah, it was good. The Lincoln Half is a great course. It's really fun. A lot of spectators to keep you kind of motivated. My running partner and I, Laura, we started with a plan. We ran the first 2 miles straight through, and then we switched to a run 9 minutes, walk 1 minute, run 4 minutes, walk 1 minute, like little transition. We did that 3 times, I think. And then we switched to run 4, walk 1. And then we had in our back pocket, run 3, walk 2, just in case we were going to need it, but we never needed it. So it actually ended up being good. Pretty good.
You never got to the run 1 minute, walk 10 minutes.
No,
like I usually
run 15 seconds.
Run 15 seconds.
No, we actually stayed really good on the plan, and that helped a lot. But I was really sore. But like I said, I totally deserved it, but it's a fun one. I really enjoy that race.
Well, I was a spectator, so we were out about halfway. We had myself and some of our Farrell's members were out there, and this was the first time I've ever spectated the Lincoln Half or full.
It was? I thought you've been down there before. That's
like the halvesy that I've been downtown. I've always done them.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
So it was cool for me to see. It was funny because I saw the front, the leader. I mean, the police motorcycles, and this person's just flying by. Like, I mean, you could just feel the wind just as he ran by. Same with all the first runners. And about after we saw maybe, the faster runners run by, I looked at Matt, who's, he's one of our members and instructors. And I was like, I'm kind of feeling motivated. Like, I'm a little inspired. This is like, I mean, look at these guys and gals. They're just, they look good. They're fast. They're doing well. But then towards the end of when the runners were coming, I was like, and I see the grimacing on their faces. Like I usually look,
right.
I looked at them. I said, my motivation is kind of waning now.
Yeah. Well, and it was kind of crummy too, because where you guys were standing was on Highway 2, and that was probably the worst part of the course Sunday because it was windy. Like most of the rest of the course was fine, but right when we turned onto Highway 2, we got hit with this wind out of nowhere. And then if you've done the Lincoln Half or full marathon, mile 9 is a beast. It's just a giant hill, and I knew that was coming, but to me, as long as I can get through that, then I know that I'll be fine. And so you turn and you get out of the wind, but then literally you're like looking up this street and you have to run like the longest hill ever. But yeah, so that was kind of, you probably saw a lot of people struggling just because the wind, man, it was aggressive.
Well,
on
and
that part.
as a spectator, I mean, I would have liked it not to be as windy. It was
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
inconvenient for me. And
Well,
then
I was disappointed that you didn't have a tequila shot ready for me or something.
I mean, I was, you were up early running. I was at home trying to get the laundry switched before I left and take care of the dogs. And so you can do those things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was little. And then you have to look in the sun, and the sun was in my eyes. I mean, it was very inconvenient, but I powered through it. And we were cheering the runners on, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah,
it was cool.
It was
cool
fun
to see some of our Farrell's members. We were tracking everyone. So we tried to hit them all when they ran by. And one of our members, Laura, I was looking back and I heard somebody yell my name. By the time I looked around, she'd already passed.
It does go fast.
So I had got pictures of all the Farrell's members except Laura.
Yeah, I know.
So when I talked to her Monday, I told her I felt like Arthur Spooner on King of Queens when he was trying to learn how to be a notary, and the dog barked and he looked away and missed her signing the document.
I looked away. He did it twice.
That's exactly.
We talk about that a lot in our household.
I missed it. I had one job. I knew she was coming. And
yeah.
I don't remember what I was doing or who I was looking at, but I turned and then I look and there she's gone.
I know.
So, but it was cool. It's cool to see our members out there and cool to see everybody running and cool to see people of all different fitness levels,
ages, sizes,
ages,
everything.
Yes,
it's great. Great.
So it was pretty cool, pretty awesome experience. So anything weird that you saw, like any interesting stories of,
No, the only thing in all my years of half marathons, this was the first time I saw someone spectating with a cat. I've never seen a cat on the course cheering.
Oh.
I know. So she was just holding her cat and just cheering people on. You see people with dogs like Christy.
Lucy would like that.
Yeah. People bring their dogs out all the time. I saw a cat. Never seen a cat before. My favorite sign was the one that said, because I've seen so many signs, so to see one that's I've never seen before is always good. But my favorite sign was run like Stanley on pretzel day. It's an Office reference. I know, so that one was funny. It made me chuckle, but I don't think so. I mean, the great thing about the Lincoln Half 2 in full, they do a great job post race. So they have like massage tables and a chiropractor set up. So we took advantage of that. That was awesome. Get a little stretch afterwards. So that's always my favorite part.
So again,
that race.
I'm at home, waiting to eat lunch with our kids, and Nicole's getting a massage, and I'm
I know it was so relaxing.
We're just so hungry, and I'm just like, what is she doing? But they had a chiropractor there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was
so
great.
That's and a lot of the runs that we've done, like you have to, like the marathons that I've done, like in Bellingham and even Des Moines, you have to sign up and pay for those spots. I know in the Bellingham one you had to pay for the massage, which is well worth it.
Right.
So it's cool for the Lincoln one just for everybody.
Yeah, it's great.
Do they have the compression leg?
They didn't this time. I would have done that one. The Normatech. Yeah. No, they didn't have them this time. Those are nice too, though. But.
So our first when we did this, and this is really funny too. And we did this in 2017. We were with some friends from Iowa. We lived in Iowa at the time. Drove over here. We had all signed up for the full marathon.
You were signed up for the full too? Okay.
And I was really sick. Like my 20-mile training run 3 weeks prior was like the best, my fastest time ever. I felt so good. And then I got sick a couple weeks leading up to it. And Nicole was kind of injured. So
I was injured, and I don't know if we talked about this last week, but I actually had 2 full marathons on the books like a month apart because I was injured. So we signed up for Lincoln as like a test for the knee.
Right.
I did talk about this because the great thing about Lincoln Half is the full breaks off at the half mark. So I knew, so I knew I was going to at least do the half and see how my knee felt. About mile 9, or maybe even earlier, my knee was not having it. So I stopped at the half mark, knowing that I had my race, my real marathon of the year in 4 weeks later in Duluth, Minnesota.
So we both cut it short.
Yeah.
And we did the half marathon, and our friends
We had two friends
did the full marathon,
doing the full.
and they didn't know that we cut it short.
Well, Heidi knew because I was running with her.
So
yeah,
we're up in Memorial Stadium getting our massages and getting our legs and the little compression things, and they're off doing the full marathon. And so if you've seen King of Queens when they go to the spa, this is really funny because because it's a funny show.
Yeah.
So Doug's getting the male treatment, and he's just getting twisted and turned and then Carrie's getting the
relaxation.
Pampering.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like us. We were getting pampered while they were out on mile 20, 21, 22. So that was pretty funny.
Except I was really disappointed. I cried at the end of that half marathon because I really wanted to finish the full. So
you didn't cry because you were running into Memorial Stadium? That's why I was crying.
That was cool. But no, I was a little upset that I couldn't do it. But it's okay. I finished the next. I got it all good, and we finished Duluth. So
well, we'll put the half marathon behind us. You have another one coming up in June, June 4th weekend. So you're going to be in Des Moines, and I'm going to be here. Not really sure who's going to be with me on the 4th, but it'll be me and somebody else co-hosting the show that day. So we're going to turn our attention to our resident 10-week student because Mark was gone in South Dakota, I think, last weekend.
Yeah.
So we have 2 weeks to cover.
Mm-hmm.
So this is his one-on-one coaching session,
therapy session,
which you don't know this yet, but the bill is in the mail for this extra special attention you get. Yeah. So the first thing, we have a virtual option as well. So you were up in South Dakota and you had to do the virtual class on Saturday.
Yeah.
So how did that go with the family? Like, did you go into the bathroom by yourself? Did you go to the exercise room?
My first thought was to go down to the hotel gym, except I'm pretty sure nobody ever uses it. Because,
I do every time. I love hotel gyms.
Well, then you should go to the Holiday Inn Express in Sioux Falls and complain about the fact that their door doesn't unlock. I'm sure it's just dead and nobody's told them for months.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it seemed like.
I would have told somebody. But
well, I figured I can just do it in my hotel room. I perched directly in front of the air conditioner, which was great. I love that. The rest of the family sat on the bed and watched Friends on TV. You know?
Right.
You
couldn't like get him to do it with you.
I tried to get my 13-year-old. She goes, "Dad, that looks hard." Like, I know. You're right.
It's a tough sell.
If you weren't doing, like, she was there to do swim meet, right?
Yes.
Maybe it's a bad idea to have you do these lateral raises right before your
and then if
your back doesn't
do as well, then it'd be your fault.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say, one, Nicole, that was a really tough workout.
Yeah.
So thanks for that.
Yeah.
Two, I hated the virtual part of it.
Yeah. Well,
I really missed the community team element of being able, even just looking across, I'm like, that person is struggling too, and it makes me feel better. Or look, they're pushing along, and that makes, like, whatever little oomph I needed.
And it's funny because you learned that about yourself, so now you know, like, that's a little more motivation to get there at 5 a.m. So we have some members that if they don't make it in the morning, they'll just do the virtual, and you know that you won't like that. That's not necessarily for you. We have sometimes people who sign up to be in gym and then they switch to full virtual because they like doing it at home. So you do have to kind of know yourself. I know for me, I could do the strength training virtually by myself and be okay, but the kickboxing, I would definitely need the energy of the room. You know, like, it's just not, that's part of the fun of it.
I think
for me,
I think I would be the opposite. I think I could do the kickboxing solo, but the rest of it, I hate the strength training anyway. So I love the strength training. I need that extra motivation.
Yeah, but you still got it done. That's what matters.
Well,
you got it done.
And you're right. It was something I learned about myself. I've got a day coming up this week, actually, where I can't make the 5 a.m. And my wife said, she's like, "Oh, just do it virtually."
Yeah.
Nope.
Right.
4 a.m. Yeah. It's got to be 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Nope. That's good. That's good.
It was good to test that out.
Yeah, it's just good to have that option.
Do the people at the ticket know you're going to be getting up at 3:30? Like, you might be a little extra cranky.
It's okay because I'll be gone from here. I'm in North Platte all day. So yeah, we got to be out there by like 9 or something like that.
That's cool. So that's awesome. See, you could have, you could have just said, "Hey, I'm gone for the weekend. If I don't do this workout, not a big deal, right? Who's going to know about it?" I mean, but you did it.
Oh, look,
that's good.
Yeah, I've been championing this fireball shot coming up at the 10-week party in our group chat. Every opportunity I get, I can't be the one who doesn't get that fireball shot at this point. Like I've made it my identity.
Yes, that's good.
Are we allowing fireball at this party? Because the last time, our 10-week party this time is at one of our members' houses. It's a lake house. It's really cool, and there's like kayaking and canoeing. And it's just a really cool setup. And Nicole doesn't really remember a lot about the party we had last year because of fireball. So I didn't know if we're allowed to bring that or not.
We had been out at an event the whole day out in the sun, and so I had hardly drank anything, water, and I hardly eaten any food, and it just caught up to me. And so no, there's a lot I don't remember about that, but I don't really drink fireball either. Well, you should have stopped me. You should have been like, okay, if Nicole is willingly drinking fireball, she does not know what's going on.
I'll remember.
Especially when tequila is available. Like,
I'll remember that.
Oh, I was just we still have that bottle on our counter, and I was just chuckling at it today. I know. So
maybe
that's
I'll
the
bring,
rule of thumb.
Maybe I'll bring a different alcohol.
No, do fireball. Fireball's still good. I do the one, group fireball shot. But if I'm doing more than that, cut me off. Like, just start giving me shots of water. I won't know the difference. Put a little cinnamon in some water. Like, come on, look out for me here.
Well, I'm off doing my own thing. It's fine.
I know. So no, that will not be happening again. That was the last time.
It's really disappointing to hear.
No, it was not good. It was real. Oh, and the fun thing is the Husker Road Race was the next day.
Oh no.
No, so I had to do a 5K the next day, like the most hungover. I actually felt really good after that, though. Like, I felt good after the 5K.
And that is what a fitness fanatic does.
That's right.
You cannot remember the 10-week party, but then you can get up 4 hours later and 5K. That's
That's what you did.
We did.
Yes.
Everybody was surprised to see me there, but I would have been there no matter what.
Yep. So into week 4. Next week is a big week because we're going to be getting you on the body composition scale to see how it's been going.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
But we tell everybody to trust the process. Part of the process is to not weigh yourself. Now you've snuck on the scale because now
there was no sneaking.
Confession.
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
You got on the scale and you told me this morning, you're like, well, I can talk about why you shouldn't get on the scale.
He distrusted the process.
So how many times have you weighed yourself over the last 4 weeks?
Oh, basically daily.
I did know that. You said that.
I told
you did. You said it from the beginning.
I was upfront about this.
And I said, that's okay. As long as you're not letting it get to your head. It sounds like it's getting to your head.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. However, you guys said at the beginning, you're going to lose a bunch of weight and then you're not.
Right.
You're going to drop off and then it'll start up again.
That's what I got for guys.
Men especially.
Right. And that I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
But week 3, seeing whatever progress I had made kind of regressing a little bit, like it was
progress, we'll say.
Sure.
Right.
The numbers got small. Like, look, from where I was, it was, I forget what exactly it is. It says OL, over limit. Right.
Okay.
Right. So I got to a point.
Harsh.
Yeah, it is. And now I know that 308.6 is that limit on my scale.
Right.
Because I was right there.
So now you can see the number.
I was watching it go back and forth. OL 308.6.
Yeah.
OL, and it peaks at 3. It's harsh.
Yeah, that
it's
is.
harsh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a win, right?
It is. There's a number on the scale now. Yeah, which is great.
Oh my gosh.
And we haven't gone back over limit yet, which is good. But it was hard. Week 3 was hard for me. Because
like as we said, it would be for most people.
Well, so what I found myself doing, because week 1 and 2 were hard, and I just couldn't do more. Right? Like I was giving my all, and then week 3, what I found was it was getting easier, but I wasn't pushing harder.
Yeah.
You know. And from your reaction, I assume that's fairly.
Yeah, what I tell people all the time is like weeks 1 and 2, you feel like you're being dragged through class, like you're being dragged, and then week 3 is when you have to start pushing yourself through the class, and it happens quick. It's a quick, switch, and sometimes You're just not maybe mentally there yet for that.
And that must have been the case for me, because I would get done with class and like I'd be tired, but like I don't feel that same fulfillment from this that I had been. And it was all week 3, and then finishing week 3 with that virtual session, which didn't have that same feeling either. And so then going into week 4, I decided I need a different mindset with this. Like I can't coast through this.
Well, and that's also part of the reason why we start drop sets for week 4, where we're really challenging you to band up. So the instructor's telling you whatever you would normally do, you need to go too higher, and then we're kind of you're being dragged again for a little bit. I know. So that's good that you saw that at week 3, and then we go right into week 4, which was hopefully a little more kind of challenging on both sides.
And it was, and it was good to be challenged and then be able to meet the challenge, you know, to not fail at that, which is exciting. And again, more motivation to keep going. I went to my coaches, Lance and Kristen, after the Monday kickboxing. I just said, guys, I hate to say this, but it was fun today.
Right.
I enjoyed being here.
Right.
And so, and again, when you're talking about getting up at 4:15, it's good for it to be fun. And for me, week 4 was fun. So.
And that's part of being comfortable. It's part of it becomes fun because you have ownership in your space and where you are, and you feel comfortable. You know, the first couple weeks you feel like you're an outsider. You're like you're kind of new, and everyone's. But by week 4 or 5, if you've been consistent, you feel like that you belong there. Like you're part of something instead of like trying to keep up, being that like little brother tagging along behind the siblings. So that is true, and that's part of what being consistent. That's your reward for being consistent. It became fun because you feel like now you're like keeping up. Like I'm one of the big kids now. That's good.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say it's fun. I mean, not only seeing that in myself, but the others in that 5 a.m. group that are doing the 10-week challenge. You're looking around and seeing the progress that they're making too. Like that's really cool to me.
That's awesome.
Well, and that's what's great about doing Farrell's and starting with the 10-week challengers and kind of going through that process together. And if you and I'm sure you've done other things on your own that you started, but when you get to that week 3 and you're by yourself doing something, it's easier to stop. Because you don't have, one, you're doing this for the whole world to follow.
Right.
For you personally. But
it's definitely motivation.
Right. If when you're by yourself, it's like, okay, if I don't go to the gym, who's really gonna know? But me.
It would be really interesting to know how many times I've done the first 2 weeks of the couch to 5K.
Oh yeah. And you've done half marathons.
I know.
I can tell. I know your profile picture on Twitter looks like it's a half marathon.
It looks like he's 10.
So it's so funny when people who have done lots of running before start that stupid couch to 5K again. Like it's not stupid. It's a great program, but like you're beyond that. Like you will forever be on.
I know.
Couch to 5K.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
But
I know what you mean.
I tell myself like, here's something I can do. I know 100%. I can do it.
I know why.
And then I do 2 weeks, and I'm like, nope.
I know.
I'm out.
And that happens to me too when we go to train for stuff, just for running. It's like, because you just don't get that satisfaction of being with the group of people where you're just like, the high five and people telling you great job, or some of our fit members that you may not know coming up to you and say, hey, great job, you're doing really well. So getting those, gratifications of just
encouragement.
Encouragement. Like, great job, you're doing so good. That always makes me feel good too. And you get a compliment thrown your way, and running just makes you feel good inside, and you're like, gosh, wow, this is working. Have you had anybody now? A lot of guys work in the station, so they're probably not. They probably.
Oh, we talk about each other all the time.
They wouldn't. They might not notice any difference.
No, actually,
or have you had anybody give you say, oh, I can see changes?
Folks here in the office have done that, which is nice. My wife gives me a hug, goes, oh, I can get around you better, little things like that. Right.
Wow. No, I'm just kidding.
You're not wrong. And I mean, there's that, and that's nice. there are things like I just bought a new belt and I'm already on the last little notch on the belt. I'm like, I just spent $20.
I know
that.
That's the bad thing. You can just drill a new.
Yeah, you can go back to like the college days where you can't afford to get a belt.
Right.
You have to get the screwdriver and just make another one.
In there, yeah.
Is it time for a break? I think it probably is time for our first break. Okay.
Oh, we're flying right along.
I know. Nobody else is paying.
All right. Well, we will be right back. We're going to talk about our 5-week word theme, which is commitment. So we're going to talk about that after the break. This is Jeff and Nicole Essing, Fitness Fanatics. We will be right back.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
AmeriCorps programs and members are making a huge impact in Nebraska communities near you, addressing critical issues like education, conservation, and even food insecurity. Because of AmeriCorps, 81% of students who complete the RISE curriculum don't return to the probation system. Learn about AmeriCorps programs serving communities in your region by visiting serve.nebraska.gov. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Old School with DP and J.
I learned this about the difference between the college game and the NFL. Every play is designed offensively and defensively for one guy to make a mistake, whether it's being out of your gap, for getting the blitz, for getting a check on offense, for getting the snap count. In college, it might be explosive play, 15 yards, whatever you deem as explosive play. The pros, all of them are house. All of them are the guy will hit his head on the goalpost.
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A Shiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can stand, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, so can you find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
From selling a home to even building one, you're doing a lot and need a lender who can help you do it. Like Lisa Workman of Security First Bank.
Mortgage lending is my true passion. As the director of mortgage lending, I work to ensure you receive exceptional customer service.
Mortgage lending from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 505011 and 616196.
Wider Wheat Sandwich Shop in Lincoln reminds parents celebrating prom and graduation brings temptation. Encourage your kids to say no to drugs and alcohol and assure them of a hassle-free ride home. This message is from White or Wheat Sandwich Shop at 6940 Van Dorn Street in Lincoln, serving the community for over 10 years. Come in for their homemade soft buns or call 402-434-3980. That's 434-3980.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, travel and support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. We are sponsored by Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, which is our gym. Oh, we never say that really. We have 2 locations here in Lincoln, Nebraska. One off South 40th and Yankee Hill, and one over by Momo's off of South 77th Pioneers. And we also do virtual program as well. So if you're listening from anywhere in the world, you can join us. All right. So you can just go to our website, fxblincoln.com, for more information. So we're taking you on Mark's journey here through the 10-week challenge. We're getting ready to enter week 5.
Well, I wanted to also ask, how's nutrition gone for you? Did
yeah,
you
there
have
we go.
any meltdowns over grilled cheese sandwiches?
Or when you're on vacation.
Past 2 weeks?
Or not vacation, but when you went to Sioux Falls.
Vacation, yeah. The Sioux Falls, it was, we're eating out the whole time. So trying to, you talked about good, better, best, right?
Right.
So just trying to, wherever we ended up, trying to make the good choices, the better choices, right?
Yeah.
The one that got me, I thought I was making a good choice with fish tacos somewhere, and they show up with these deep fried. It's not what I thought I was getting. But it didn't have the meltdown. Right. I'm like, okay, I will eat the fish tacos.
Yes,
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. So I didn't feel cheated out of anything.
Yeah.
And it was all right.
Good.
Have you been food logging?
Yeah, for the most part. I've been trying to be strict about it. I get through the day pretty good, and then at night when I cook, like that's harder for me to log because you have to put in every ingredient. And so I tell myself, like, I kind of know where this will land. So I don't log dinner, but throughout the day, I do.
And it's not something, we don't really say that you have to be able to food log forever, but we all eat the same, like 2-3 things for breakfast, 2-3 things for dinner. It's just a matter of swapping those meals out from what you normally would do, or not having breakfast at all. So it's not something you have to do forever, but it's definitely an awareness, and then starting to kind of realize what a meal looks like, what those meals look like to end your day where you want to be. So it's not something that you have to do forever.
It's been nice though, because there have been some days where 5 o'clock hits, I go, oh, I didn't realize either how far I had to go or how far I've already gone with my food that day. So it is nice to have that going into the night.
And
where do I sit?
And it's good if you're going to have a busy day, so then you can kind of plan accordingly. Like if I know our biggest meal is generally lunch, because we're home for that, and then by the time we get home from the gyms at night, I don't want to eat a whole meal. But so usually ours is lunch. But if I'm not going to be home for lunch, I'll eat a little more for breakfast. I'll kind of plan my day a little bit accordingly. So that's always good to do too. I don't log my food every single day, but like if I'm adding a new meal, or or I just want to see where I'm at, I'll do that. But it's not something you necessarily have to do forever. But awareness is good.
Any other nutrition questions for us?
I've been trying to. We talked last time I was in about eating before workouts, things like that. And that was a change I made this week. I played around with it a little bit in week 3 and wasn't really finding anything I liked. So this week I just started doing a scoop of the protein powder from Matt, their Nutrition Authority, beforehand. And Monday was the first time I tried that, and I thought Monday went well. I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's correlation here. I don't know if there is or isn't, but maybe there's correlation. So I've been doing that more religiously, and I think that's been good. Trying to switch out breakfast a little bit, because breakfast every day has mostly been a few eggs and some turkey sausage.
That's the same breakfast.
Which, and I love it. It's just after a month of it, I'm like, all right, what else is there? So started playing around with shakes a little bit, banana and oatmeal and things like that in shakes. And so I guess, you've shared lots of recommendations, and I appreciate all of those. But that's kind of where I'm at is okay. I feel like I've found a decent place. Now I need some variety in with it, because I can't do grilled chicken every night. Right. Like I can't start my day with eggs every single day, because I'll burn out and then I'll fall off a cliff.
Yeah. And I generally share a lot of that my nutrition right up front, but I eat a lot of the same things too. And so like I'm still going through my rotation of food. So really next week I'll probably start sharing some more stuff again because like you said, I'm kind of sick of having the same similar things day to day. So I'll definitely be sharing kind of more of that too.
Well, maybe I'll start sharing some of my toddler meals.
They are toddler meals. Jeff literally he eats like, well, our son is this way too, except he's 15. So his 3 meals are like frozen burritos,
which aren't mine.
No.
So,
he's the only one that eats those in our house. Quesadillas,
which is the big go-to for me.
Yeah.
Quesadillas.
And then like if I make eggs, I'll make some for him. But like, and then Doritos, that's his main.
You only buy one bag of Doritos a week. That's his limit.
Yeah.
They'll be gone in like 24 hours.
And they usually still are gone in 24 hours. But
They've got to wait 6 days more.
Young again.
Right. To be young, just eat whatever you want. And just,
I know he eats like fruit and stuff at school, and he will when we have it too. He'll eat.
Yeah, he does stuff, like
that. But that's you. But yours are a little healthier. But yeah, you can share your stuff maybe.
Well, like today, I'm out of cottage cheese, so I've just been doing a protein shake with a serving of spinach and an apple, and then
mixed together
in my NutriBullet,
blended together.
and then I drink it.
Yeah,
but that's what I've been having. That's usually my second meal of the day. It's always that. Is that either the cottage cheese and apple or just substituting the protein powder with spinach and apple. So I get a vegetable and a fruit and my protein. I mean, it just doesn't get any healthier than that.
Yep, I guess.
And it's done in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, it's when I put that much, it's about a minute.
Oh, okay.
I have to drink some and then I have to mix it around again, so it gets the apple and the spinach blended up. But so I had that today actually when I went home to get something to eat.
I know you left the NutriBullet lid on the counter.
Did I not rinse it off?
No, you didn't.
Oh,
I know, and then I forgot to too, so it's still sitting there.
Oh,
I know. Have to run it through the dishwasher.
Yeah, but the NutriBullet's my friend.
Yep.
So
anyway,
let's get to week 5. You can go ahead and read what our tenant is.
The theme for week 5 is commitment. And so like everyone we have is like the theme and then kind of like a little, I don't know, inspirational thing. So it's commitment. And then the underheading is the easy thing to do is to quit. What is hard is staying the course. Just true about anything.
Yes. Especially when you maybe aren't seeing the tangible evidence.
Yeah. But we're a week away. Like it's right there.
And that's what, when we're throughout the 10-week challenge, like, we tell everybody week 3 is tough. Mark lived it. He went through it.
Yeah.
Because the newness is off. Now it's like,
again, because why? Because you're not special.
Yeah.
Right here.
I know.
It hurts every time you say
no,
this
it's
isn't
not
our first rodeo.
It's
we just
comfort.
know.
It should be a comfort when you're like, oh, I really struggled. Wait, Jeff and Nicole said, like, okay, I'm not, it's not, you're not special. You're not alone. It's just funnier to say you're not special. I was just telling a couple of our 10-weekers at Pio today that they're not special.
Complaining about something.
Yeah, they just had a question, and it's a very common question. So it's like, yep, that's normal. You're normal. Is more,
What was the question?
Oh, well, they're getting bruises on the backs of their arms. This tends to happen to women more when we do our incline press with the long band, and they like 3 of our 10-weekers have Gina, yeah, and
I was talking
Caston,
about that.
yeah, they all do, and so I'm just like, it really does get better.
Maybe it's
just
a 6 a.m. thing.
I don't know, but
it was all 6 a.m.
It would happen to me too in my first 10 weeks. Like, it's not uncommon, but it's just like, no, it's not really anything you're doing wrong. I'm really going to need you to stop moving around in that chair. Sorry. I know. I'm sure no one else can hear it, but there's a lot of creaking going on.
They might be able to hear it.
I know. We're going to have you step off the chair.
Nicole has like bionic.
Sorry.
hearing.
I'm sorry.
Like literally, I mean, if you are in our house and we're chewing something,
I feel bad.
Just like, I mean,
you have to understand though.
I know you're struggling.
Bionic
I get it.
hearing.
Like, you have to understand.
Jeff's struggle, not yours, Nicole.
I wait until I possibly can't stand it anymore before I say something. So it's not, I mean, you've been doing this for a while. Ever since we came back from break, you've been
now I'm
squeaking around.
I'm conscious.
I know, that's all.
I'm trying not
so
to
see, because I get distracted extremely easily, and that is true in everything. And noise is the number one distraction.
I will deal with this excruciating back pain. So the chair
stand
does
up.
No, I'm just kidding.
Like me, look, I stand. Anyway.
I'm just kidding.
back to I lost my train of thought because I had to say something, but I know what we're talking about. We're not
Commitment.
being special.
Yeah, not being special.
Right. Like, you
the
know,
bands,
right.
bruising.
Same,
Everybody listening's like, gosh, I'm gonna have bruises.
No, not always, but it goes away. It'll be fine even by like probably next week. It'll probably get better. But or they can just always come to my classes because I hate that exercise and I don't really do it very much. But
good to know.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But anyway, yeah, so commitment, trusting the process, it all goes together, you know, staying the course.
Yep. It's like, especially when you can't see tangible evidence. What I really like about week 5 and when we do our body composition is, you know, some of our members may have not, we've seen some women get on the scale and they have gained weight. Now, at first sight of that number, I mean, some of them, they want to throw a punch at
It's
me.
hard sometimes.
So I'm like, just
yeah,
don't worry about this.
Right.
So then we do the body composition, and the reason they've gained weight is because they've gained muscle, you know, lost fat, gained muscle. So then when they could see the numbers, that's when everything makes sense. And if we get members that aren't too happy with their results, then we start talking about nutrition. And so it's really just a check-in. So
troubleshooting is what I call it. It's
yes.
troubleshooting. We just to see if we need to change anything up. Like if you're losing muscle and you're being really consistent with your nutrition, consistent with workouts, we might tweak those macros a little bit. We might bump up the protein, bump down the carbs, you know, but if it's going great and everyone's like, what do I do now? Nothing. Keep doing what you're doing. It's working. Like, you know, let's keep riding that wave as long as we can. So that's what we like to really want people to understand at week 5. It is just a check-in. It's just troubleshooting. The biggest thing that I can tell people is it's a danger zone no matter what happens. It's a danger zone. If you get on that scale and you have amazing results, you lose like, you know, you gain muscle, you lose fat, you do amazing. And then you're like, start taking your foot off the gas, you know, you start like, ooh, I got a little leeway, you know? And so that's where, you know, sometimes people kind of regress in that last 5 weeks when they do really well at 5 weeks. So that's what I see more than anything. And then if you get on the scale and your results aren't the greatest, but we look at your attendance card or you haven't been logging your food, then it's just, you know, opportunities for improvement. That's all. So it's just troubleshooting. How you, our guest next week is going to be a great testament to this, but where you're at 5 weeks is no indication of where you're going to be at week 10. Like you could, and what you do in that 5 weeks is going to be the determinant of that. But it's literally just troubleshooting. Some people build muscle really quickly. Some people lose fat first, you know, and so it's just a check-in. That's it. We just need to check in, see what's going on, see what we might need to improve. Or sometimes it's like, keep doing what you're doing. Like, this is good. This is good stuff.
We've seen it all.
Yeah.
We've seen results where I'm just like, I think, gosh, well, how can I want to get results like that. And I've been doing it 13 years, but I'm always amazed at like what people can do. You know, and we're not doing anything extreme. We're not working you guys out for 5 hours a day.
Right.
And
it's not the biggest loser ranch.
Micromanaging every single thing you're putting into your body. But it's amazing what we can do when we're really focused on eating healthy and working out.
Yeah. Fueling your body.
Right.
To be able to push yourself in your workouts. That's really what it's all about. It's all, you know, connected.
So that's the commitment part is just trusting the process. And, you know, as Aaron Davis is one of our members, he always talks at our orientation, you know, he told the group this time, and he really says it every time.
Yeah.
The only way that you're going to fail is if you quit, and then you'll fail.
Yeah.
Because if you finish, you're a winner. It's tough to go 10 weeks.
10 weeks is a long time.
It is.
And it never goes the way you think it's going to be. You know, like stuff happens. Things happen. Honestly, I would rather have people have challenges and overcome them in those 10 weeks and learn habits that will take you, you know, we've seen people before that come into it from a competition perspective. I want to win $1,000, you know, and they eat chicken and broccoli for every single meal and they have great results, but it's not sustainable. And then they then it's 2 years later and they're coming back to do it again because it worked, but I'm like, but did it really work? Because you didn't make it your lifestyle. You didn't fit it into your life now. And that, I think, is what that 10 weeks, if you just turn everything off else in your life and only commit to this for 10 weeks, you're kind of missing the point a little bit. We want you to be able to live your life. We want you to be able to go out to eat with your family. When you were in Sioux Falls, I wouldn't want you to be like, I'll stay at the hotel and eat,
I brought my chicken in.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes people do that. And, sometimes people have goals that require them to do that. I've had friends that have done figure competitions before and they've done that, but that was the commitment that they made and they were seeing that through. And they also knew that this is not going to be sustainable. But we don't want you doing something that's not sustainable. We want people to make new habits, bring in new, meals that you've never really tried before or whatever, that makes it easier to be healthy and just more, active and everything.
It's the long-term sustainability is what Farrell is looking to help people accomplish, because we don't want people to go through it and then they stop and then a year later they're just, oh, do you have any specials?
Right. And that happens, and that's fine too.
It does.
We're always happy to see people coming back.
And it happened to me too. I did Farrell's once.
Happened to me too. I've done it twice.
Yeah, I lost 28 pounds, moved away from a gym, thought I could do it my own, gained 40 over a year.
I did. I was a quitter my first 10 weeks. I didn't finish the program.
So Nicole quit.
Yeah.
These are your
because we got sick.
That's right.
I got sick. This was long time ago.
Oh man, and this happens today. See, we can relate to everything.
Yeah.
Because
this was before my 15 years of Farrell's. This was when our 19-year-old daughter was a toddler. And it was at the very beginning of.
This only had one child.
Yeah, we did.
Did it with just one, just like Katie.
And Farrell's wasn't even called Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping yet. It was probably 6 months into whenever Lance was on our show and he talked about how they started to integrate. Right. Yeah. I was part of that and went to class every single day. And I think I got sick or Katie got sick. I don't know. And I don't even know what week it was. And I didn't finish. So I know what that's like. But then I started again in 2007 with my son and have been doing it ever since. But
so we've been there.
Yeah. And you didn't quit your 10 weeks.
No,
we moved and then you stopped.
Yep. Thought I could do it on my own. Yeah. And signed up to do another kickboxing somewhere in Altoona. And I was like, this is stupid. And I just,
I remember you not getting up in the morning to go to your class.
I had no accountability. Like they don't care if I'm here. So I just didn't go. And then, over time, and I'm sure everybody can relate to this, you're feeling good one day. And then the next thing you know, you're not.
Yeah.
You're like, how did I get like this?
Yeah.
It's just like gradually changes. So, it takes longer than 10 weeks to get to where we want to be because it took longer than 10 weeks to get to where we were at when we started. So it's just, trusting the process. And some of our members don't see their best changes until weeks 8, 9, 10,
women
11,
especially
12.
Ladies.
So it's just, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Everybody's different. Everybody's going to have different results. The main thing we're looking for is that a good, successful weigh-in is losing more fat
than weight
pounds on the scale.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what we're looking for.
We want you to either gain muscle or lose body fat or both. The danger zone is if you lose muscle and gain body fat, like, okay, there is a piece missing right here. So like usually that's where we look at a attendance card and people haven't been coming. And exercise is such a small part of your results. Nutrition is most of it. And that's the case for everything. But for me, I know, especially I eat better when I'm active. Like when I was sore last week because of the half marathon, I was like super aware of making sure I'm drinking tons of water, getting all my protein, trying to maximize my recovery. And if you're not working out, you're kind of breaking that cycle. And so it's a lot easier to like go out to eat or, eat pizza for dinner. And then it makes it harder to get up in the morning because you've just, had a huge, pizza for dinner and then you don't want to get up and it all goes together. So we have that tangible. We don't see what you're doing all day long, but we have that tangible attendance card showing if you've been committed to coming. And it's not even necessarily, I think Matt, Nutrition Authority said like you want to try to have like don't miss 2 workouts in a row and don't have like 2 unhealthy meals in a row. Like that's a great like mindset to have. Like you need to have that. Sometimes something will happen and you can't make it. We have a lot of nurses right now in the program and they just have crazy hours. And sometimes like they need to sleep and that's okay, right. But it's just keeping it, looking ahead, planning your meals, making sure you're planning those workouts and stuff like that. So
okay.
Yep.
Well, we are up against a break. We'll be right back. Jeff and Nicole Essing with the Fitness Fanatics.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities that we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by your store to say hello. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Koppel talking about a new order for myself. They let me know I can actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at koppelcars.com. We'll be glad you did.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at freedmanlaw.com today.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop, but you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now for the new Wingstop, located at 5001 O Street.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses, creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Husker fan, your Nebraska softball team is competing for the 2022 Big Ten regular season title. There are 3 more chances to support your Huskers at home during Fan Appreciation Weekend, May 6th through the 8th. The team hosts Indiana in a 3-game series with giveaways each day. For more information on promotions, visit huskers.com. Get your single game tickets now at huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York, so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SEC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we are back here, our last segment for hour 1. Coming up at the top of hour 2 is going to be our 2 super moms. Yep. Lindsay Boever and Sarah Mwania is going to be in with us. So we're super pumped to talk about them. But before we get to our second hour, we're going to check in with, we had all of our 10-week members write down goals at the start of the 10-week challenge. So we're going to check in and see how Mark is doing with his goals right now. So Mark, what were the goals you wrote down, and are you getting closer to them or farther away from them?
We were trying to remember what they were because I had 3.
You had 3. Yeah.
One of them was to get less winded throughout the day.
Yes.
One of them was to fit into clothes better.
Yeah.
And then there was a third one that must not have been important.
Or you've just already done. I don't know. We'll have to look and see.
But
yeah.
But to check in on those 2, I mean, I mentioned, the belts are fitting better. Buttoning clothes is a little. I was wearing a jacket here at the office the other day, and someone mentioned like, "Oh, that jacket's looking a little loose on you."
Yeah.
So that's all good. I've noticed not necessarily get less winded though, because that's kind of a harder thing to measure.
Yeah.
But things like
plus when you're not getting winded anymore, you don't notice.
Yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah.
I notice when I do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But what I have noticed is just like getting up from the couch.
Yeah.
Like there's a little more pep.
Yeah.
Right. It's a little easier to just the little things like that throughout the day. Like that was hard 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. I remember like struggling to get up, being out of breath at the top of the stairs, before I started Farrell's and stuff. Like I remember that. And I'm like, I'm 20, I'm 27.
Yeah.
I should not be winded at the top of stairs in our house that I probably ran up did those stairs 50 times a day. So yeah, that is true. But it is true that like you don't notice because it's not happening as much. So that's good.
I did just carry a mini fridge from our basement up to the second floor the other day, and I got winded.
Right.
So I thought, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, we're not there yet.
I know. Can you imagine what that would have looked like 4 weeks ago trying to do it?
Multiple stops along the way. Yeah, for sure.
And then what about your push-ups and sit-ups? Do you feel like those are coming along?
Yeah.
Because we'll retest those 1 minute of push-ups, 1 minute of sit-ups
I was
Saturday.
tempted earlier this week to see where I was.
Yeah.
And I decided not to because I want that to be.
And it's not the same. Like you kind of need that adrenaline of like
too.
knowing that someone else is counting, and you know what I mean? Like it really is hard to capture that like moment yourself.
Yeah.
But
what I've noticed in class, I mean, we do push-ups, we do sit-ups in class. And I remember the first week when it was mid-workout, we had been doing other things.
Yeah.
I could not do a sit-up.
Right. Yeah.
I had done 16 at orientation or whatever the number was, but that day in class, I could not do 1.
Yeah.
And so seeing, I can do a sit-up. We can do however many push-ups. I'm still on my knees because I did try to do them for my toes at home, and I did like 4.
That's okay.
Which is 4 more than I could do at orientation.
Judge, that's a great way to judge for yourself.
In my 10 weeks, I could never do push-ups on my toes in class.
Yeah.
But then I try and I'd fall on my knees instantly. But then when I go to do testing, I was like, wow, I've gotten so much stronger. Because when we do our testing, you're not 30 minutes into a workout.
Exactly.
Right? You're fresh. You have that adrenaline of the minute. So then you just start going. Like, oh my gosh, look, this is amazing. When I can't do 1 during class, my arms are just so tired. But everything we do in there with the punching and you're working your arms, you're working your core, especially for your abs. So when we're kicking and punching the bag, you're working your abs and you don't even know you're working your abs. So that's what's kind of cool.
And the funny thing is too, Saturday you're going to do your push-ups and sit-ups, and you're going to be really proud of yourself for like half a second, and then you're going to be like, how am I going to beat that in 5 weeks? That's going to happen, and you're going to remember Nicole said, that's normal.
Process.
Right. Yeah. To trust the process, because you're going to be 5 weeks more stronger when you do it again. But it's true, because you're probably going to still fail. You're just going to get much farther into that minute before you fail, or you might feel like your form is kind of, waning towards the end. Now with sit-ups, that's a little trickier. Like you definitely will. It's way easier to get to a point where like you run out of time before you run out of sit-ups. Like you can only do so many sit-ups in 60 seconds, so push-ups are a little bit different. But yeah, you're going to be excited. You're going to write that down. You're going to look at those 2 numbers and be so proud. And then you're going to like see the blank 10-week box next to it and be like, Oh no, I have to
Okay,
beat
just
myself
done.
again.
Yeah.
I know. But you will. I promise. There'll be lots more push-ups
Can't
in your
wait.
future.
Looking forward to that.
That's all going to be documented live on the air next Sunday, May 15th. We're going to go through.
Are we going to do like a live reveal?
I'm going to do.
Like-
We're going to go. I'm going to bring in your stat sheet.
Oh,
We're
we'll
gonna
do
go
that.
through
We can do that.
how many inches Mark's lost, how many more push-ups he's done, how
Yep.
many more sit-ups, how much weight he's lost, how many pounds of fat he's lost.
So much pressure.
It's going to be
Gotta be
amazing.
on track this
Okay.
week for
All right.
sure.
It's gonna be amazing.
For sure.
All right, well, that is the end of hour one. We'll be back with our 2 super moms for hour 2, so don't go away.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Bagels and Joe is ready for the spring with pesto cream cheese, great on any cake. Try a mint and peach Arnold Palmer while you're there, and don't forget their locally roasted coffee, delicious breakfast burritos, and bagel boxes for the office. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop, but you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop, located at 5001 O Street.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side. People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. And that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go. Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
Junior, hurry it up in there. Honey, he's doing it again.
Doing what again?
Practicing for American Idol in the shower. I need in there.
Well, MemberZone is offering no-fee home equity lines of credit. We can use the value of the house too.
Add a second bathroom? Say no more.
From adding another shower to all of life's in-betweens, you're headed in the right direction with the MemberZone home equity line of credit. Learn more at memberzonecu.org. Restrictions may apply. Federally insured by NC.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basements? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
James Enterprise Incorporated, that company that hauls your gravel, rocks, and material for your farm or construction site, says thank you to the people that help your community for putting yourself in the way of danger to save the public. That is what it means to be a hero and to build a beautiful legacy. This message brought to you by James Enterprise Incorporated. For all your hauling of rock, gravel, and materials, call them at 402-432-6740. That's 402-432-6740.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
So we have two, what I call super moms joining us. We have Lindsay and Sarah. Hi, Lindsay. So everybody knows who you are.
Yep.
This is Sarah. Hi. How are you two today?
Well, thank you.
Good, good. Now, the reason I call them super moms is because these two ladies have 11 children, not
Each.
together.
Right.
Each.
Yeah.
Each mom.
22 between the two
Yes.
two families.
22 babies.
Yeah.
Between the two families, which
Right.
is that's why I've known Lindsay for
Since we've been
since
here.
we moved here
Yeah.
and took over Farrell's, and I've called her super mom all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
That
I
was
think
kind
I've
of
called
a-
her super mom more than I've called her Lindsay.
Yeah,
Every time
I
I
think that's
see her.
fortunate.
Yeah.
And that's what I
think
call
that's true.
her in the gym.
Yeah.
Oh, super mom, there's super mom. So because she's super mom, because you have 11 kids. And then when I met Sarah, I was like,
Sarah you didn't really get a nickname because Supermom was already taken.
Supermom
so
was taken.
I know.
And at the time, Lindsay had only had 10 children. And then now she has 11.
Yeah.
So when
Same
I met
with Sarah. Sarah
yes,
only had 10
yes.
when we met her.
Yes. And I thought, gosh, so here's a lady that has 11 kids and then, or 10 kids. And then Sarah comes and starts at Farrell's, and I find out that she has 10 kids. I was like, what are we doing in Lincoln? This is amazing.
Yeah.
So we wanted to bring them in. They both have kind of different stories. Lindsay comes to Farrell's and typically will work out in the gym, and Sarah works out at home. So with 11 kids, and we have members that maybe have 1 or 2 or 3 and are just like, oh, the kids just they wear me down, and I don't have energy, and so you kind of use your kids as a crutch of why
It's not even, you don't really most of the time know you're doing it. As a mom, you don't know you're using your, you are. It's not like they're not tired. That's not true. I mean, that's not true. They are tired, but yeah.
Well, and I've learned that the hard way that being a stay-at-home mom is the most difficult job there is.
Very
not
difficult.
because I wasn't a stay-at-home mom, but I've learned when I was working and I would come home and you think, oh, you're gonna have dinner on the table and the house is gonna look amazing, and then I learned really quickly that when Nicole started being a stay-at-home mom, that's not
so hard.
It's so hard.
what happens.
I remember my aunt when I was like in the just middle of struggling being a stay-at-home mom. She would be like, just set up a plan, and like on Mondays you vacuum the living room, and I'm like, but to vacuum the living room, like the living room has to be picked up. Like you can't. What am I supposed to vacuum around toys and diaper, stacks of diapers and wipes, and So it was just that always stuck with me. Like that sounds so easy, but it's not that easy. That's basically sums up the whole stay-at-home mom. Like it's not that easy. But anyway.
All right. So let's start with Lindsay. So Lindsay, you go to the Farrell's location on Pioneers.
Yes, that's correct.
So for those, hundreds of thousands of listeners that we have, maybe 1,000 listeners, but so for those listeners we have, being the mom of 11, very important to find time for yourself.
Yeah.
So I just kind of
just talk about yourself a little bit.
talk about yourself. Just the floor is yours.
Yeah.
All right.
See, I'm talking too much. Also.
You are. That word count is high.
That's right. It's good to proceed to start. Well, I wrote some notes. I'm not a public speaker, so I like reading off notes. So forgive me for looking down, but
that's okay.
I think backstory is important to where people have mentalities. So, I was a gymnast growing up, trained 8 hours a week. So it is in a small town, but that was a big part of my life. And then played Division I college basketball. So fitness and exercise has ran track and field, was always a part of my life. Right. So didn't even think about it. You're in a small town, you participated in sports. and then on to college. And then John and I got married, and I continued on I walked through my whole pregnancy. And so for me, it has always just been a part of my life, just like taking a shower in the morning, some form of exercise.
Cool.
The major part of my backstory, I would say, which added to that, is my dad died early when I was 28. So I'm the second of 10 children. And my mom actually always exercised too. So I got that example from them. But being there when my dad died gave me a perspective of wanting to live my life from my deathbed backwards.
Yeah.
So that motivates me it motivates every area of my life. So I knew I wanted to raise my children. I wanted to that. I knew John and I knew we wanted to homeschool. From the big picture of our parenting and how we conducted our lives to the small things is that I knew that exercise was an important part of life, not only, especially as we age, but for our mental health.
For sure.
My mom always says my family's a CrossFit family. And she said my dad died of cancer when I was 28, and then my mom was diagnosed 5 years later. And she CrossFitted through her whole cancer journey. And she always says, even if she was just doing 10 squats a day, she said that saved her mind. It made her feel normal.
Yeah.
And so with that, knowing that I'm going to die someday,
We all are.
I know. It's inevitable.
Yeah. Yep.
I've worked my life backwards.
Yeah.
So, and that has formed my daily habits. So
That's
huge. It is huge.
That's a great perspective.
Huge. I wrote this quote that I love and I thought was appropriate for this, that, let me find it, flip through my notes.
That's a lot of notes.
It is a
wow,
lot of
we've
notes.
never been that prepared for this show.
So your thoughts do matter.
Yes.
And so you sow a thought and then you reap an act. You sow an act and then you reap a habit. And you sow a habit and you reap a character, and you sow a character and you reap a destiny. And I know where I want to be if God allows me to live till I'm 90. And so that forms my daily habits.
Yep.
So that's why I go every day. Most days I don't want to go. I wake up and, like every human, I'm not going to make myself unique to being a mother. You wake up with you're a mother.
Yeah.
You're a father. I'm sure you have a million things to do, but it's a part of my day.
Yeah.
So
it's really hard for me because you tend to work out more mid-morning, afternoon. I like to work out first thing in the morning. So we teach a lot though. So sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. So my workout might not be till 9:15, but I will feel like I am in a fog all day long until I get that workout in. Like that's why I prefer to work out right away in the morning, because that is kind of the start of my day. And if I'm not instructing until 9:15, my day doesn't feel like it has started until that time. So that's part of it has became a habit. It was not always that way, for sure. Not always that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a non-negotiable in my day. I take a shower every day. I say my prayers in the morning. I say my prayers at night. We eat 3 meals a day, 2 snacks. I work out in some capacity every day.
Yeah. And it's not always, that's the other thing too. Like it doesn't always have to be in the gym. And that's kind of shifting gears from the first hour talking to Mark. He said it's 10 weeks. You're a fit member. You've been doing this for years. And it's like in the 10 weeks, we want to encourage people to kind of stay committed, do the 10 weeks. But then as long as you're doing something, going for a walk or whatever, like it's still, you've carved that time out, it's that habit that you've made. That's really important.
And even on the days that I don't want to go, I always say to myself, like, I hold that space for the workout.
Yeah.
And I say, Lindsay, go 10%.
Right.
I don't even care if you stand at the back.
Right. Yeah. I've never seen you just stand at the back. I will say
and
that.
once you get the music going, you're always like, okay,
I've
you're
never
fine.
once been like, this is a 10% day for Lindsay. Never.
It's always 100% day. You might not be feeling it mentally 100%, but you put in 100%.
Yeah, want to. And never all those cliche statements are very true, especially with fitness. I have never left the gym and said, man, I shouldn't have done that.
Regret a workout.
I have never regretted a workout.
Right.
Not once in 10 years at Farrell's.
Like, not even in the middle of like one of my workouts.
No, you're my favorite. Actually, I like to be killed. Like I love leaving like, yes, that was worth it.
That's funny. Yeah.
I want my shirt drenched. I want like so.
Well, I know you both are big into fitness because a lot of your kids did Farrell's last summer.
Yep.
which is really cool because that they both have big vans, right?
Yep.
So the oldest one would come driving in, and I'm like, hey guys, watch this. And the door opens, and like 11 kids just get out of the van, and it's awesome because I mean
the members love it.
Oh yes, we love it when the kids are in, and when your youngest one, Vianney,
yes.
Oh my gosh,
She loves.
you said like all her older siblings were going.
Yep.
And she's just, Mom, I want to go so bad.
Yep.
And she's just so cute. And they're just punching and kicking. I was
Like,
this is
I don't
so
even know, 3'6" or some tiny little person. Yeah.
But you guys were so kind to them because you'd always know their names and you'd always talk to them. They're all coming back this summer.
Oh, good.
And Dominic our oldest is dating somebody. He just said to me yesterday, he said, Mom, Mackenzie and I really want to do Farrell's this summer. I'm like, good, do it.
Well, and
So,
all of your kids are the nicest,
So polite. Yes.
children. You
Always
will
say thank you after class.
Yes,
and-
always come up. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter where we're at. They'll all come up, say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
And it's just
good.
so cool. I
Yeah.
mean, that makes
Yeah.
us as instructors feel good too.
And we have
So,
members that do that too, like
Yeah.
grown adults that do that too.
like
sometimes.
Mark will thank us after I just smacked him around for 45 minutes, and he said, "Thank you for that."
we are providing such a
Yeah.
valuable skill in life that it is because I think that cultures in past we naturally got that fitness in by our everyday work.
Yes, yes.
And today's society is overall very sedentary,
Mm-hmm.
and so the capacity to go to a gym and the ability is such a gift,
Mm-hmm.
and I think kind of essential now because you have to take the edge off and release those hormones even scientifically. So it's a valuable thing
And
to
not
our
just
family.
physical, but mental.
Oh my
as
goodness!
well.
The older I've got, it's almost become 100% for mental health. Like,
We have a lot of women who will have stuff that's going on and they'll have to miss a couple days and they'll come in and they'll be like, my husband basically kicked me out the door and said, go work out. Like you're not the same person, when you're missing your workouts, And there's something to be said for, and I always say it's about soreness too. Like I'm sore all the time. Like something is sore all the time. Like not all the time sore, but like, I'm
Good sore.
right. My triceps are going to be sore from my workout this morning. I already know it because I pushed really hard on triceps. So but I always know why. There's always a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And, I remember in my 20s being hurt or sore for no reason, like because I was sedentary or, you do something and then you're like thinking back and you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm sore from that. But it wasn't like functional movement.
Right.
It was just like from not doing anything. And that's for me too. That's why like it's harder for me to sit than it is for me to be active, do stuff, it's so true, but it's for a reason. You're tired for a reason. You're sore for a reason. You know what you did. And it's not just the weight of like everything in your life. It's so complicated. It's hard to like put it to words, the importance of that.
a meaningful pain. And I want to be able to, why God has allowed me the ability to exercise. I want to be a good steward of that, of the gift. Cause I know someday watching my parents, that it was taken from them.
Right.
And people, and I know you guys know people that you get to a point for some reason that you literally can't. John's dad had a massive heart attack running the half marathon 12 years ago at mile 10.
Wow.
He collapsed and they actually saved his life, but his heart only works at 40%.
Wow.
And he was like John. You've seen John work out.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
My husband works out also, and
Yes.
he loves fitness. And if that was ever taken from him, that is such a part of his life. So right now, when I don't want to go to, I'm like, well, there'll be a day that I probably can't. So I get up and go.
Yep.
While I
That is
can.
so true.
And that's why we do some of the things. I mean, my dad died of a stroke at 69, and my grandpa died of a stroke at 73. And so that runs in my family, but I'm not gonna use that as a reason not to stay active. I'm not just gonna be like, well, I'm just destined to die at 70, so I might as well just do.
And maybe you will. Right.
Maybe I will,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be because of lack of effort.
Right.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons we do what we do. Is I want to be around for my grandkids and so do as much as I can. And again, it might be my fate.
Yeah.
It might not be.
But I don't want to have any regrets. It's
That's
like
right.
I used my time well.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
that's we say that with Jeff's dad because he had a stroke and we had been visiting him in Arizona 2 weeks before he passed away, and he climbed a mountain with us.
Yep.
Like, he did that. He lived that. He did Farrell's when we first took it over, and he was a train wreck, and we still talk about seeing him in the back row and some of his roundhouse kicks, but he was active. Like, he lived his life to the fullest until, I mean, he had a stroke, and he had a stroke in a courtroom, like, representing himself on a civil suit on something,
Arguing,
basically arguing.
in the courtroom.
Which is in his element.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he had a stroke
Wow.
and passed away. He was,
Wow.
unfortunately had other health problems. He was on blood thinners, so that made it more difficult to recover from the stroke. But like, he was that same example to Jeff too, in a different, I mean, we're extreme sense of the exercise part of it, but that was his fate. It was just his time. I mean, we were visiting with him 2 weeks before, and he climbed that pass with us, and he's made us go off-road. Like, we ended up being somewhere we were not supposed to be, and we were all struggling, but there's Wayne, like, okay, I guess I'll just keep following him. Right. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's so true though. Like, you don't know, and he could have just sat at home and not experienced that, and it's still, his fate probably would have still been the same. So it was great that he was able to, we have those memories. That was good memories.
How long before we're up against the break? We got
Okay.
So we're going to take a break. We will be visiting with Sarah in the next segment. So super cool story here. Fitness Fanatics, Jeff and Nicole Essing. We'll be right back.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
An Empire Fence is an investment in your home. This year, use your tax return to make that investment. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and security while improving the appearance of your home. Visit empire-fence.com to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home. With your tax return on the way, schedule your project now. Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Hello, I'm Charlie Stone, back with the latest news from Honda of Lincoln. Joining me now is the general manager, Andy Goodyear. Hey, Andy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, with spring right around the corner, how is your supply of new Hondas and pre-owned vehicles?
Really good, Charlie. As I've said before, when you drive by our lot, you don't see what you're looking for, just remember we have hundreds of new Hondas arriving soon, with Honda continuing to offer 0.9% APR financing to qualified buyers. Plus, we have over 125 pre-owned vehicles in stock and ready for immediate delivery.
That's great, Andy. Any more great news?
There is, Charlie. Honda just announced financing from 0.99% APR on certified pre-owned Hondas for qualified buyers.
So come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years and can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Join us at Cactus by Venue for our new America's Favorites menu. We're keeping your favorite dips and tacos and adding brand new dishes, including delicious steaks, burgers, pastas, and more. Focusing on vibrant casual dining using a blend of fresh ingredients prepared from scratch. Located at 56 and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center, See the whole menu online at cactusbyvenue.com and order yours to go at venuedelivered.com. Cactus by Venue, America's favorites.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics, our special Mother's Day episode. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there listening. You are obviously the rock to all the families, so we appreciate everything that mothers do for us. We want to talk to Sarah. She is our other super mom joining us. Sarah's mother of 11 children as well, which is awesome. So just give us a little bit your background and how you work out from home. So getting your kids involved, which is just a really cool story. So the floor is yours.
Well, I like Lindsay. We both have 11 kids at home that still live at home.
Yes.
So, and we live in the same neighborhood. So
We're
we bring a
neighbors.
lot of life and joy and
Yes.
fun and noise to the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
And
wonderful
it's really
childhood.
fun.
Yeah.
But I do have a couple kids. My last couple are a little younger than her last. And so I have little ones at home. And I did Farrell's in the gym for a while, but I noticed that every time I've done gyms through my whole life, I end up coming back home. I just find that my house functions better at home.
Yeah.
And I my house may not function quite as smoothly over across the way that as hers. I don't know, but I just personally really like just having an eye on things. In fact, so much so that our dining room table is so big it doesn't fit in our dining room, and so it's outside of our kitchen. So I've turned the dining room right behind the kitchen into a gym.
Okay,
That's cool.
So we have some machines and weights there, but it is literally like right in the heart of the home where everything happens. And so I know for me, I really try not to be focused on like the shape and size of my body. When you're having children over and over, it's just like you go from gaining weight to losing weight to gaining weight to losing weight. And the body, the woman's body is incredible. It's just amazing the way we were created and designed. And I just want to appreciate it and not beat it up.
Yes.
Like I got to get back in shape. And so I really have to work on my mind like that. Okay. Giving myself time to heal. Right now I have a 6-month-old. And then even in pregnancy, this last pregnancy, I was at Farrell's and I tried to go as long as I could. And then all of a sudden I was talking to Lindsay, who's gone all the way to giving birth, working out like that. And there were a couple other ladies that have, and several of them told me, you'll know when it's too much. And I had never quite worked out that intensely that long. And through a pregnancy, it felt amazing. I really wanted to be stronger than my last pregnancy where, once that sickness hit at the beginning, I was done. Give me the couch. I'm done. And by the end of it, I just felt so weak. I did not like it. So I'm like, number 11, we're changing it up again. I guess having a lot of kids gives you a lot of chances to experiment with a lot of different ways. And so I changed it up and I really stayed. And I did appreciate how much stronger I was. But, healing after you have a baby, it's different. And so it takes time. And I like having it right in my home, but what I try to focus on is just how much better it makes me feel. A lot of times we're in a wine and coffee culture. I feel like you need the coffee to pick you up. Let me not be opposite. I'm not a wine drinker, but I think that calms you down at the end of the day. And so we, as a society, we rely so much on these things, quote unquote, to function as a mother. It's really celebrated like, oh, you have to have all of this to function. I noticed that, I drink caffeine, but I noticed that a workout goes so much farther for giving me the energy that I need. And sometimes I'll even save it for, you work out at noon, right? Sometimes I save it for more that time, like after lunch, where I have a lot of things that I would really like to get done. And I am feeling it. It's like I'm tired, and boy, it can just even 10 minutes. So a lot of times I'll tell myself, I'll give myself 10 minutes, and then I just want to keep going as long as nobody's interrupting me or needs something, Right. But I also really want to model that for my children. I have a lot of teenagers now. I want them to not be body focused, but notice that I love what Lindsay said about how, you know, we really were created to work for our food.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did for so many years as humans. And now we don't even have to walk through the grocery store anymore. It comes to our door, right?
You just order it.
Yeah. So we don't work for our food physically in any way, shape, or form, but we were created to work and to move our bodies, and it makes us feel so much different. And so instead of focusing on how we look, as I have teenagers, I really want them to see that connection of this helps us feel better. It helps us mentally. It helps us emotionally, actually, in so many ways. And so just getting in a little time. And I like to see that with my children that may be naturally more athletic and some that may not be. I see them all going to exercise for the same reason, which would be how it makes us feel better. And so I really like that. I like that we're modeling that in our house. At the beginning of the year, we started a challenge. We had a 500-mile challenge. We have family that lives in Denver, and we told the kids, if you can get 500 miles in, by the time everybody does, we're going to get an Airbnb in Denver.
Nice.
So it's like we have a map written out of all the miles all the way to like all the towns. And so some of them are in Grand Island. Some of us may not be far out of Lincoln yet. But we're all like making our way to Denver by miles.
That's so cool.
I know their family does a lot of challenges too. We have a pool in our backyard that it's a community pool, let's be honest. But we do like swimming challenges and laps, and it's so fun to just like make it fun.
Yes.
Make it fun. So we have a couple different machines that keep it kind of different and weights, and we do classes and stuff in our home. So that's kind of our history. I definitely give myself a lot of grace when I am healing or in a stage where I am not sleeping as well at night. But I also know that just even a little time makes a huge difference and helps me not just be reliant on caffeine and how much caffeine I can possibly drink and not affect the baby being up all night, you know, like that balance, right?
That is so true though. It's just really important to have that, you know, that time and that balance. And it's with, especially as you're raising children and you're the example, but like also we're in a really weird place culturally where like we are still super body image focused, but there's also another set of like body positivity that's out there. But I think it is really important to just be an example and think about how much harder your journey would be if you were so aesthetically focused on, okay, I had a baby, now I need to lose that baby weight, you know, but when you stop worrying about that and you start enjoying what your body can do in the moment, it's so much better mentally and physically. And I think that's a piece that a lot of people are missing when they kind of jump from like thing to thing to thing and not finding that like the joy in pushing yourself and not having it be tied to necessarily how you look. It's more about how you feel. That's how exercise is for me too, for sure. Just because, you know, I've gone through injuries, and as women, as we get older, our hormones change and things happen, and you go through pregnancies. And then, you know, I've only had 2 and I was not active at all through either of my pregnancies. And I do wonder how, like, one of my favorite things about being pregnant was, because I worked in an office for both my pregnancies, one of my favorite things was I could eat like Oreos and milk for breakfast and nobody would question you. Like, it's socially acceptable. You can eat anything basically and at any time and nobody questions you. So like I was not active at all throughout my pregnancies. And it does not make me want to, it never made me want to try to be active in a pregnancy, but I do wonder how that would have been different if I had been focusing on, you know, and that's not even true. I did walk, like we walked on our breaks and stuff. I had friends, we did stay active, but we had an instructor, or I mean, we had a member in Iowa that she came all the way up until her due date. In fact, she worked out at 5:30 and then had her baby that night.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
She's out there doing a plank.
Yep.
And,
I know. So literally until the day that
I love having when ladies are working out and they're pregnant, because I get to pull out my now. Unless you have another person growing inside of you, you can do these burpees right now.
Yeah.
That's the only excuse you can give me.
There were some exercises that were so hard.
Yeah.
So much harder.
You just don't, and that's so true though. Like I try to get people to understand that when you're going through an injury or something's bothering you, and it's a matter of focusing on what you can do instead of like being held back by what you can't do, because you can always do something. Like, you know, you can always fit in. You should always be able to fit in a walk in your day or whatever. And if you can't, then you probably should be kind of reevaluating some priorities and seeing where you can like take that time to move your body just for the energy part of it. It totally makes sense. Like, you got to get that blood flowing. That is your life. Like, you got to get it moving. And if you're just sitting, it's so easy to just, you know, bodies in motion stay in motion. It's so true. And you guys,
I've
know
watched
that
the
for
progression
sure.
of my mom from cancer. So she CrossFitted all through that. And then she had a knee injury. So she's she went from this pretty high level of fitness to basically she's stretching every day now.
Right.
And that's even important, as you know. And so
Yes.
she's just grateful she can stretch.
Do
And she does
something.
these simple little movements every day. And I'm like, I mean, yes, it's hard because she loved the high of CrossFit, that high intensity. We all do.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's like, well, I'm grateful I can stretch.
Do something.
Something.
That's such a great
She can't even go
perspective.
for walks anymore, but she can stretch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's still a part of her day.
It's still a part
however
of her
that
day.
looks.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we put too much pressure on ourselves sometimes, and we sacrifice, you know, like I've said before on the show too, like where we're hard on ourselves about the things that we can control or can't control, and we're easy on ourselves about the things that we can control. We can control if you only have 10 minutes, you can control choosing to use that 10 minutes to get a workout and do something rather than just sitting down. But we're really like easy on ourselves. I'll just follow that. But then we're hard on ourselves that we can't control. Like, we can't always control what the scale's going to say. We can't always control what, you know, how our clothes are going to fit. And that's the stuff we beat ourselves up for. And it's like, oh, that's so backwards. It's such a backwards mindset.
And those daily habits, I just don't want to end my life. And, you know, we only have one life to live.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to pass me by.
It's like that whole, like, you want to end your life like in a beaten down and just broken down body.
I gave it all.
Every ounce of what energy I had. That's just a really great mindset.
Well, I've had the privilege of meeting your mom.
Oh, that's
and
right.
I called her Super Grandma.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that. She is wonderful.
And I think what's really cool is, like, I know when my dad was he had 7 brothers and sisters.
Oh, that's right.
All grew up in Lincoln, Panama area. And when my grandma passed away, I remember just sitting at her funeral, and I was like, all these people in here.
Right.
Like, she had like 35 grandkids when she
Wow.
passed away, in the 40s for great grandkids, and in the double digits for great grandkids. I was thinking, gosh, if it wasn't for this one woman,
it's mind blowing.
Right. Yeah.
all of these people
wouldn't exist.
I mean,
Poof.
this, they wouldn't all be here.
Right.
And I just think, like, for like when you guys get to be, you know,
Greats.
70,
Yeah.
80,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're like, you're going to have you're going to have to rent out, you know,
I
a
hope
hall to hold all the
Yeah.
people, like with your grandkids and great grandkids.
We always talk about that with our little
so
ones.
cool.
Like, people have mindsets about like what's good numbers of kids to have. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but we look at our little number 11, and a lot of people would say, oh, 10 is a nice round number, but that little 11 can represent generations
That is so
after them,
true.
and they're so special. I mean, we both have very special number 11.
Yes.
Yeah. So special. But your little one brings so much joy. So she's a whole
I
generation.
almost brought
of
her here
people.
today, but she would
Yeah.
have taken over.
Right.
Solo would have
I
appreciated it.
do
if I took her.
feel like, especially when you get past like a certain number, I can see how it would be hard to like stop, because you're like, I've already done so much. I've already been through this so many times. Like I don't know if this has ever been compared, but it's kind of like when people say, like, when you get a tattoo and then you kind of can't stop getting them. I feel like it's the same thing. Like, I think there's
get
probably
another
a
one.
threshold. Like 2 was fine for us, but I think if we would have kept going to like past 4, I think it would be a little more mentally easier
it's
to like,
something.
keep going.
It's past the social norm. That's what it is.
That is so true. What is
Once
the
you're
social
past it,
norm?
it's about, sometimes it's 2, sometimes
Right.
it's 3. For some people, it's 4. But I noticed,
Right.
like, after 4, people are like, oh,
5,
you're
6.
still having
You're doing
babies
this on
like that.
purpose.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Now,
Like,
Sarah,
yeah,
did
we like
you
'em.
grow up in a big family?
No, we had 2 kids, but I had
Okay.
a lot of my aunts and uncles had large families, and
Okay.
I just looked at them like, wow, looks like way more fun.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
what's happening in our house. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
I always
That
say
is so
we
true.
don't have 11 children. I have one Dominic, one
Right.
Lily.
Oh,
They're all
yeah.
so uniquely as your children are to you.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
all so uniquely wonderful with interests and temperaments.
Yeah.
And motherhood is supposed to change you.
Yeah.
Like, do I wish I had my wonderful body of a gymnast and division? Yes, I do. But motherhood's supposed to change us, and each baby changed me for the better.
I can't imagine. I know
Exponentially.
just with our two kids, they get along really good. We're really fortunate that our kids have a great relationship. I think that's part of like girl boy dynamics too, but they are so different. And I just think that would be so cool to see that in all 11 kids and
It's
11
fascinating.
different, because
It
they
is so
grew
cool.
where they grow up in the same house. But I mean, I know you're formed differently. Like our daughter, when she was born, we both had office jobs. And so she was a daycare, we took her to daycare and stuff. And like, we would be waking her up to get, and so you see that as they're growing up, like but that kind of helped, that formed her. She likes her routine. She likes to have her life, like, when she was, right. When she was a toddler, like, man, by the end of the weekend, she was sick of us and she just wanted to go back to her routine of like going to the snack table and going outside with her friends. And she's like, she's still so that way. And then our son, I was a stay-at-home mom, and he got to just wake up on his own. He literally woke up singing every day,
and he's probably maintained that, right?
Still
laid
singing.
back.
I mean, he will sing in the house like nobody else is
does.
in there. I know, and so it is funny, but I can't imagine how much cooler that would be. It's just exponentially the more kids you have.
It's amazing that they are all so different. Now mine all look a lot alike. They definitely match, but their personalities are so unique, and we're always just amazed. Like, who are we going to meet next when we're expecting a baby? That's so exciting.
And you realize how fast it goes, so you cherish it. It's so, I mean, I was, a small story was at Home Goods this week with my youngest, and I had him in the cart in front of me, and it was all new to him. It was his first time at Home Goods, so I was watching him watch everything, look at things, and I'll get teary-eyed talking about it. It was so tender to my heart. Like,
and you're like, this
never
is
gets
so
old. Precious. I'm 45 years old, and I get this simple joy. So
when you have kids at the older end of the spectrum of you're raising them anyway, it gives you such a different perspective on younger ones,
right?
Because you're doing it again, and you're like, oh, I could change this or whatever. But also, I know it goes so fast.
Yeah,
it goes so fast.
I know. I think that's why Jeff is really like looking forward to being a grandpa someday.
Oh, I thought you were going to
not right away. No.
Today's episode.
Medically impossible. We will never be making that announcement. But right. But no, that would
really
be so cool.
No,
though,
that would
if
be
we
so
could.
cool.
I know.
Because there's times where I'm like, I see pictures of, like, I have a picture on my phone of my kids from like 7 years
Every
ago.
time I open his phone, I'm like, how do you have this on your, it breaks my heart every time.
Or Facebook memories come up, and Ben singing in his high chair and stuff like that. And then I'm like, always, I asked Nicole, I'm like, you think we should have had more kids? And then now that they're their age we're like 3 years away from like being empty nesters, And I'm like, well, we'll just encourage our kids to have lots of grandkids.
There you go.
And we'll just have an abundance of grandkids that we can bring in. We're gonna go grab them from the house and bring them over to our house and stuff like that.
And I've heard that's a wonderful joy.
We're kind of now. You might have 40 grandkids.
I hope
so.
Right?
That would be awesome. I know. That's so cool.
My parents had 2 kids, and they have 13 grandkids.
They probably love it too, don't they?
They love it. They love it.
That's so cool.
I know when our members first become grandkids, they're just Tammy Luther that boy is just the apple of her eye, and they're getting ready to have 2 more grandkids over the next couple months, so she's pretty pumped about that. So we still have a few years to go. Right?
Yes, we do.
4 or 5 years, and then
it's always good to look forward to something.
It's good. It's very good to look forward to things.
Well, we're up against the break here. We have one more segment with Lindsay and Sarah. We'll be right back on the Fitness Fanatics.
From selling a home to even building one, you're doing a lot and need a lender who can help you do it. Like Elizabeth Rizak of Security First Bank.
With over 25 years of experience as a mortgage loan officer, I take pride in helping borrowers find the right loan for their next home.
Mortgage lending from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 505011 and 483558.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. Are you or someone you love at risk of an opioid overdose? Get the free Opie Rescue app for your phone. Opie Rescue can guide you through the steps of how to respond to an opioid overdose. Be Opie ready. Download Opie Rescue today.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
In today's day and age, people are trying to do more and more projects by themselves. That might be better on the wallet, but it can also lead to painful sounds like this. Ow! Poor guy, trying to do wiring all by himself. Let's have another listen. It's just not worth it. Don't hurt yourself or make things worse than they are already. For any of your electric needs, call Joe at Ambition Electric today at 402-217-3415 or go to ambitionelectric.com.
Fruitcakes are just for Christmas, right? Gosh, I feel sorry for you. I mean, what if we had done that with bacon? Bacon is only for breakfast. We'd never have bacon cheeseburgers. We'd never be able to save a salad by adding bacon bits. We'd never have Brinner. That's breakfast for dinner. Don't limit yourself. Fruitcakes for St. Patrick's Day. Fruitcakes for graduation. Fruitcakes for Thursday. Beatrice Bakery and Grandma's Fruitcakes are perfect for every occasion. Check them out in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
It's only a room with shelves and books, but it's far more magical than it looks. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Instill a love of books and learning by reading to your children and grandchildren. Create a lifelong habit that leads to a successful future. I think that I shall never see a place that's more useful to me. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Find great deals now on new Rams, Jeeps, and more during Ram Truck Month and the Jeep Celebration event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our entire inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles anytime.
At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back for our final segment with Lindsay and Sarah, our two super moms. We want to talk in this last segment about nutrition and feeding the family, going grocery shopping. I mean, it's hard enough for us to buy food for four of us.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to talk about that just a little bit and the dynamic of feeding all those kids healthy food.
The
logistics of it and the challenges. So whoever wants to go first.
It's her specialty.
I don't know if it's my specialty, but yeah, it's logistically, it is a challenge when you feed a lot of people. But we also had our children one at a time. So you just slowly grow in the amounts.
True.
After a while, we started doubling recipes and we started tripling them. We now mostly quadruple everything. Is that about you guys too? Yeah, about quadruple everything.
Yeah.
And you shop for more as you go and stuff. So we have I have a big goal of trying to feed our children healthy most of the time. We definitely are all for treats and all that kind of stuff. We eat out here and there, but I figure if mostly in the home we're eating healthy, then we're doing well.
Yes.
So that's where we eat most of the time. And so I think as far as affording food and healthy food, the more you can cook at home and learn how to cook, it's not only such a great skill for your children.
Yeah.
Our kids my older 4, maybe 5 can all cook dinner for the whole family.
That's
and
awesome.
So the fact that they know how to cook from scratch, it saves so much money, allows you to eat healthy. And so that's to me, that's key, is just learning how to cook. I actually was not a very good cook at all when I first got married. It was like hamburger helper on the menu every 3 days, tacos, spaghetti, because that's all that was. It was not my mom's fault at all. It was mine. I didn't want to learn how to cook. But then I realized, hey, I don't want to eat like this. I want to eat good restaurant style food, but I didn't have that budget. And so we learned how to cook food, and that goes such a long way. So I was convicted of this a couple years ago. I remember telling Lindsay about it. I was like, you know what I realized is that, like we talked about, we are created to work for our food. We were made to like eat several times a day, and it's never been more convenient to eat than now. Yeah. Which is great. It's great to have the modern conveniences, but it's also not bad to spend time on food. We were actually made to spend time on food. Why would we need to eat several times a day? And like back in the day, it took a long time for each one of those meals. So I think we've gotten in our culture so much so that we're trying to make food nothing, take zero time at all. And it's not actually bad. It actually brings community. We spend time eating together. I know her family and our family. It's almost every night dinner is around the table all together. It's great conversation time. And that's like, food is great. Like we were made to spend time on food, and food brings people together. And so we try to focus on cooking ourselves. I personally don't like grocery shopping. Even I told you I didn't like to cook, and I've learned to, because I got a lot of mouths that like to eat a lot.
Now, do you get it delivered now? Since with
no,
COVID,
I don't. I do pickup orders though.
Okay,
yeah.
So you don't have to.
I'm like trying to save a dime. I'm a little cheap. But the delivery I've heard is amazing. And
but now you don't have to get out and haul all that stuff around. They just load it up in your truck.
Yeah, we load it up in the truck, or the car rather, and then it's let's be honest, it's a school bus at this point, right?
Yeah.
But and then I don't like to shop a lot, so I do about once a month my big shopping and just get it all at once, so it's all there. But then we have a lot of food we can cook, and that's how we make it work at our house. So
she made such a great point, and it reminded me, I just made a note of my brother-in-law taught himself to make bagels.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of this long process, and he also built his own banjo at the same time.
Oh sure.
So it's kind of this Renaissance type man. And I just said, Andy, like, why would you take the time to learn this when you can just buy bagels? It's a long process. Or make a banjo and go to the music store. And he said, because Lindsay, it's more human. And it is, God made us to eat and to make and prepare our food, and there's a humanness there. That is a major approach to how we do nutrition. With John being an eye doctor, he approaches most of the way he teaches our children from a scientific aspect anyways. So we don't ever speak in terms of that's not good for you. John always says, oh, protein builds muscle. He speaks on a science level. Carbohydrates give you energy. Oh yeah, you should have some lettuce. That's really good vitamin and minerals. Like, we have candy, we have treats, we go out to eat, we have McDonald's. When my kids are sick, my kids just said to me last week, I love being sick because my mom did it for us. They always get to pick their favorite fast food. So I'm like, okay. She's like, I don't mind being sick because I know you'll get me McDonald's French fries. I have a lot of friends who are very into health and nutrition, and they have said to me many times, you can eat the cleanest you want, but if your cortisol levels are spiked, you just basically negated every good thing that's going into your body. So there's an enjoyment there with food, especially raising 8 daughters, that I want them to have that healthy viewpoint. And John's even explained to them, and I have too, even, around their cycles and menstruation, that, gosh, I'm craving chocolate more. Well, that's because your progesterone levels have dropped. And just understanding that it's not a bad thing to want chocolate then. So I have found, I don't know, we're still baking our cake, so to speak, in parenting. We haven't seen how the cake is going to turn out. So right now, that's just the approach that we have chosen to take with nutrition for our family.
That's really
and
good.
The second thing that I wanted to mention is, with both of my parents having cancer, and then we have a child that has a syndrome that she's susceptible to getting cancer. We have to screen her every 6 weeks to see if she has, it's very aggressive. And with that, I went through a period pretty paranoid about food and nutrition. I thought that I could out nutrition her cancer. And really took it to prayer and had a lot of healing there realizing that food is just a gift. And it really removed the pressure of good food, bad food, organic this, organic that. God ultimately has a plan for your life. He knows the day you're born and the day you're going to die. A great story. This one man told me a perspective, and this kind of adds to nutrition. You're like, where is she going? But I think it's important, is he said his grandfather worked on the skyscrapers in New York. And he built the, you see those iconic pictures of those men walking along those, and his grandfather built them. He never had an accident. He walked up there without the harnesses. And he comes home and he's walking to church one Sunday, and a man's car jumped the curb, hit him, and killed him. And he said, that is the day, knowing my grandfather's story, I'm no longer afraid to die. Because if he could do that most of his life, and a little car jumping a curb killed him. With that is my approach to nutrition. I am just so grateful that we have food to eat, and that it's provided for. So that's the take we take at our house.
That's awesome. Yeah,
well, we're gonna finish. We only have a couple more minutes, but if you are out there listening, you're like, what is it like having 11 children?
I know our members, like, knowing that this was coming, I felt like they're all going
they're pumped.
They're all going to be listening, like the listening version of, like, peeking in a window, like they're trying to peek in the window to see what's going on. In a house of 11 children. But you don't even have to do that, because Sarah is a YouTuber.
Yes, Sarah has a YouTube channel, and all that you kind of describe, like how people can find you and what you share, because it's pretty awesome. So go ahead.
We're just on YouTube as Our Tribe of Many. And our whole family, we do it together. On Saturdays, we focus a lot on food, because food is a big thing that people want to hear about all the time with a lot of kids. So, but the 2 days a week, what 2 days? Oh, Tuesday and Thursday. We have family vlogs most of the time. So you can get a little peek into what it's like at our very fun house.
Well, and I'm going to share something, the power that your YouTube channel has on people, because we have a lady that, because you've talked about Farrell's on there before. We have a lady that heard you talk about Farrell's. She is moving. Well, she's actually moved from Alabama. She got relocated for her job. She could either choose Lincoln, Nebraska, or Colorado. She chose Lincoln, Nebraska, specifically because of Farrell's.
She's going to start on Monday.
She's starting Monday.
Well, you should set me up with her to meet her.
Yes, we will.
She found it through the vlog.
Yes.
Oh,
that's
awesome.
the only reason she's moving here. So
It was
like
pressure. The tipping point, the decision.
I just talked to her yesterday.
I can exercise.
Just talked to her yesterday.
That's amazing.
She's going to be doing the 8:30 class at Yankee Ridge, starting Monday.
That's so cool.
She literally just, that's the only reason. So I wanted to tell you that on the air. So, all right. Well, happy Mother's Day. Thank you to Lindsay and Sarah for joining us. Jeff and Nicole, Fitness Fanatics. Have a great Mother's Day. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.